The topic of today is media startup. I am Professor Sadanand Pandey, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Management Education and Research Institute, Janakpuri, New Delhi. What is a startup? First of all, you have to understand as to what is a startup. A startup is a new business or venture that is started to solve a problem, some things related to the concept of startup. A startup is founded by one or more entrepreneurs. A startup is started to develop a new product or service. A startup is started to meet a market gap. A startup is often starts with high cost and low revenues. A startup is started to find a responsible and scalable business model. A startup researches the development without and target markets of the innovation. There is a lot of risk in the founding of a startup, but it is success. There is a lot of risk in the launching a startup, but it succeeds. There is a lot of rewards too. A media startup is a company that works with the professional writers and editors to create and publish content. Media corporates own newspapers and magazines. They bundle and distribute the content and products. It is both paper and digital formats. Starting a media company requires careful planning and strategic decisions. Here are some things to keep in mind when entering the field of media entrepreneurship. The evolving media leadership affairs may opportunities. Success depends on careful planning and strategic decisions. Startups should use social media to spread the word about their existence. Through social media marketing, a startup can quickly become popular among the largest audience for the social media marketing. The following tasks can be done: engaging with followers, publishing among content, analyzing results, publishing social media ads. Social media ads. Benefits of media startup. Some of the benefits of social media and digital marketing for startups are increasing brand awareness. Through social media, startups can reach out to people with their brand and leave a lasting impression on them. Communicating with customers. Through social media, startup can directly communicate with their customers and get feedback. This makes it easier to build trust and connect with the customers. Targeted advertising. Through social media, startups can reach their builders and targeted advertising. Viral posts. Startups can grow their brand through visits posts on social media. Increasing followers. By increasing followers on social media, startups can grow their brand. Steps to help you. I launch a startup if you have never started a business. It can be a little interesting with the first. It can be time intermediate a first, especially if you have never started a business. It can be a little instrumenting at first, especially because it requires a lot of hard work and planning, plus only of all. Business survive for 5 years or more. One. 3 things to keep in mind when starting a media company. When starting a media company, embarking on the journey of starting a media company is both exciting and challenging. The evolving media landscape presents many opportunities, but success depends on crucial strategy decision making. There are 3 essential things to keep in mind and when venturing into media entrepreneurship. First, define your area in a world full of information. Carving out a niche is crucial to a media company's success. Customers, what makes your company using, and while you target audience is whatever it is, a specific industry, a particular demographic, or a different content format. Having a clear niche helps you stand out and build a deployed audience. Identify gaps in the current media landscape that your company can fill. This could include providing in-depth coverage on particular topic, offering a new perspective on existing content, on introducing new and engaging format. Understanding your required value prosperous the only attracts not only attracts audiences but also attracts potential partners, advertisers, and investors who see the interest of your brand. Obviously, for this you need to have a good grasp on particular topic, and you need to do a lot of research to find out others where your company first in. Second, adoption of digital platforms. We live and breathe technology. We live and breathe in technology and the internet. So it is obvious that your business needs to be a digital platform to success, and that is probably the only way you can reach a digital audiences. You can use a dedicated social media platform like but for storytelling, but for storytelling and news, or create your own website. In the first case, it is important to keep up with trend with trends and adapt accurately. In the second case, make sure you have a user-friendly interface and are easily accessible to people from all walks of life. There are so many new technologies, virtual reality, augmented reality, that you can implement to meet the needs of your audience. Their innovations have the potential to increase audience engagement with your content. You have to focus on creating a brand that everyone is familiar with, which bring us back to the first point of increasing a using proportion that answers the question, why would anyone choose to lead and interact with your media company? Third, substantially and strategies. While passion drives many media entrepreneurs, sustainable monetization strategies are essential for long-term viability. Consider multiple revenue streams that align with your content and audience. Advertising, sponsorship, affiliate marketing, and subscription models are just a few avenues to explore. Collaborating with brands that resonates with your audience can be mutually beneficial. However, authenticity is key. Make sure the partnership is in fine with your media company's values and doesn't compromise the trust you have built with your audience. Additionally, diversify revenues. Success mitigates that risks associated with relying on only one income source. You can also think about implementing a subscription model, which in turn will foster sense of opportunity among your loyal followers. Starting a media company requires a thoughtful approach. Now you have to be very conscious, should be considers about the niche you choose and the way you deliver news. You also have to make a pros and cons list, because media companies are not scalable so quickly. You have to build something different than a media company to turn it into a profitable venture. By navigating these considerations strategic only by you can lay the foundation for a media venture. Things to consider before starting a media company. To start a media company in India, you need to consider the following. Where will you locate the office? What kind of content will you produce? How much money do you need to invest? What type of legal issues must be considered? How can you get started with the right people and the right skill? What are some other important factors that should be taken into consideration when starting a media company in India? Steps to start a media company in India. Step 1. Start with an idea and build it into a business plan. Step 2. Get funding. Step 3. Register your company. Step 4. Find your audience. Step 5. Set up, hire. Step 6. Create content and build a content strategy. Step 1. Start with an idea and build it into a business plan. A media company is a business which basically provides news, information, or entertainment content. For the purpose, you can pick either of the medium to publish, produce, and share your content. TV, channel, books, magazines, newspapers, social media, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, mails and newsletters, Google Apps, and website, podcast. Most importantly, a media company has to be able to provide the right kind of content for the market. As the people trust you and rely on you to provide the right information. The process of starting a media company is always challenging. You need to be patient and stick to your vision while also living an understanding of the challenges that you might face along the way. You need to be clear about what kind of content you want to create and how you will make money. You should also be clear about your target audience and what they want from your content. Step 2. Get funding. Media companies are a lucrative business in India. However, it can be difficult for media entrepreneurs to get funding for their startup. This is where crowdfunding comes into play. You can raise funds for your media company by launching crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarters or land goods and breaking your target amount. For this purpose, you will have to attract people with great content and interesting pitch. The key to raising money for a media company is to get the attraction of your audience. There are also other multiple sources of capital available for media companies in India. The private equity, venture capital, and angel investors. Step 3. Register your company. Media companies are increasingly becoming a key part of the Indian economy. With the rise of digital media, there is an increasing need for content creators who can create engaging and reliable content. Engaging and reliable content for audiences. This is why it is equally important to register it now as well so that no one can steal your business idea or raise any legal conflict. You may register your media company as private limited, company limited register, one person company limited, liability partnership, sole proprietorship partnership firm. However, the registration process is not as easy as it sounds. There are several steps involved that may require you to seek professional help from an expert. To get it touch with an expert, fill out the form on your right and make the right decision. Step 4. Find your audience. The first thing you need to do is find your audience. You must know who your audience is and what they want from you. This helps you create content that will responsible that will this helps you create content that will resonate with them and help grow your business over time. There are a few ways to find your audience. Reach out to influencers in the industry. Reach out to people who share the same interest as you. Create a niche publication for an served community. It can be tough to find your audience to start a media company in India. But if you have a unique idea and are passionate about it, you should be able to find your audience. New entrepreneurs need to understand the market before they launch their own media company. They need to know how people consume content and that kind of content they like. Step 5. Set up and hire. Media company can be an online or offline business. The foremost thing in setting up the office is to decide on a location for it and then find out about the availability of co-working spaces in your area. Apart from the basic office setup, you will need to hire employees for different roles like writers, photographers, videographers. You can find these people through online job portals or by networking with other people in the industry. The best way is by using a job posting website like LinkedIn. You can also use social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter for requiring purposes, but make sure that your ads are up to date. Step 6. Create content and build a content strategy. Nowadays, the role of content is very important. Today, content marketing is one of the most effective ways to promote a business and grow your audience. The first step is to identify the audience. What are their interests? What are they looking for? What are they looking for? What topics do they enjoy reading about? Next, you need to identify the target market and figure out how you can match them. It includes figuring out which mediums they use and the channels where they spend their time. Lastly, you need to decide on a content strategy that will attract your target audience and help your business grow. Further, there are many ways to build a content strategy for a company, and you must find the one that suits your business best.